Now let's take a look at a few myths surrounding grief. Number 1, the pain will go away faster the more you ignore it. Not at all. The more you ignore your pain is the more it will actually be there. The more you bury it, the more you don't acknowledge it, the more you don't work through it or heal through it. It just means it's going to be there all the time, and it will end up causing more emotional and physical symptoms and affect you at a higher level. 2, it is important to be strong in the face of a loss. No, you are a human being. You are entitled to your emotions. You are allowed to feel hurt. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to feel pain. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you less strong. That doesn't mean that you're not capable. No, we end up thinking that we have to be strong for others and we have to be the pillar for others. And in doing that, sometimes we don't ever allow ourselves to grieve, or we don't get the chance to grieve properly, and then it affects us in turn. So, allow yourself to grieve no matter what is happening. You don't have to be strong for anyone, because in the end, it will just affect you more. 3, if you don't cry, it means you weren't sorry about the loss. Also not true. There are many persons who don't in the moment have the ability to cry, or in the moment, because of the shock and disbelief, they're not able to fully understand what has happened. They're not able to process it right away. And so that emotion, that wave of emotion that normally takes you over, doesn't come immediately. For some persons, that crying or that sadness comes way down the line. And for some, it doesn't come at all. And 4, moving on with your life means that you're forgetting about the loss. Definitely not true. The aim is for you to move on with life, not to be stuck in all those feelings of having had the loss. The strength comes in being able to move on with your life. So it's okay if you're no longer grieving. It's okay if you're no longer hurt. That is the aim at the end of the day. It doesn't mean that you're ever going to forget. It just means that whenever you talk about it, it doesn't necessarily have to have that emotional pull from you and to bring you down every time that you do. Now, when you are grieving, it is very, very important that you also remember to take care of yourself in the process. You can start doing that by facing your feelings. Now, I'm going to remind you, do not ignore, do not suppress, do not brush it under the rug, do not shove it aside. Face your feelings, acknowledge what you are feeling, allow yourself to feel whatever that feeling is, and understand that it is temporary, and understand that the more you face your feelings is the easier it's going to be, because you're actually dealing with it, you're actually going through it, and you will be able to come out of that grieving process a lot faster. When you ignore and suppress and try not to grieve, those feelings can turn into more things like depression and anxiety. You can develop substance abuse, and it just makes things so much worse. During this time, try your best to maintain your hobbies and likes or interests. If you liked watching movies, please try your best to do so. Listening to music, watching shows, going for walks, exercising, whatever, coloring, drawing, painting, making music, whatever you enjoyed doing, try to continue doing these things. Now, I'm not expecting that you doing these activities automatically means that you're going to feel great. No, it's just that doing these activities, 1, helps you to take care of yourself, produces a boost in your brain, and that also helps you to feel a bit better, and at the same time, self-care. Make sure you're taking care of your physical health. Try to eat right, sleep right, make sure you're hydrating. Try to keep as active as possible, because if you don't take care of your physical health, you know it affects your mental health, and it's just going to make the grieving process so much harder. So do your best. I know it will be difficult. I know it's not an easy thing to do, but if you put some focus on taking care of yourself while you are allowing yourself to grieve, then things will turn out a lot better. And of course, plan ahead for grief triggers. What does this mean? an anniversary, a special day, a special occasion, a moment, things that are very significant that you remember. So just keep in mind, this is going to come up, and I have to be prepared that on this day, there's the possibility that I cry, I feel sad, I feel angry, I'm overwhelmed, I'm confused, and so many other emotions. Understand that this is a possibility. Like I mentioned before, not everyone goes through all the phases of grief. So not everyone has to experience being down or a whole range of emotions when these days come. But being prepared for it is really important. And I would just like to close by reminding you guys that yes, grief, it does vary from person to person. It's good if you have a support system, but if you find that what you are doing, you're trying your best, you're talking to persons, it's not helping, you're not sure what's happening, reach out to a professional. Reach out to someone. If you feel, for example, that you know what, if I start talking about how I feel, then I'm no longer that pillar for the persons that are there, or I will also overwhelm someone else because they're also grieving at the same time, please reach out to a professional. You can talk to them, you can share your thoughts, your feelings and everything, and they will guide you through this. So yes, you can talk to a professional for grief. Nothing wrong with that. And that's what we're here for. So until next time, bye bye guys.